Okay, by the way, I would like to recap this a little bit. Meta skill is the mother of all skills, is a permanent skills, as opposed to merely a skill. A skill is a temporary skill.
Okay. I would like to welcome you again, Ms. Coach Jerry. It's great to join us today, and we would like to hear from your sharing for young professionals and professionals who are striving to develop and grow in their career. That's our goal, and we hope that you will be able to share with us some of your tips for the professionals in Vietnam regarding how they can grow, develop within the industry. As you know, the industry now is very competitive, and people need to constantly grow and develop. So you've been an executive chef executive coach for 12 years, correct?
Exactly, and of course counting,
Sorry?
counting itself. I'm still
Oh,
doing
and
it.
12 years and counting. Yeah, hopefully it will be 20 years and keep growing. So from your experience so far, can you share with us 5 to 7 tips regarding which skills made you the executive coach that you are today?
Wow, thank you for the question. I'm looking forward to answer the question. It's a journey, Abdullah. It's a journey. It's a wonderful journey, and it started in college actually. So it was not just it didn't start when I became a professional. It started way back in college. I was very active. So I was a writer. Okay, college newspaper, and one of the university in the Philippines. I was student leader, and before that, I was raised in a political family. So my father was a mayor in a small town in the Philippines. Yes, I'm from the Philippines, and my father was a mayor, and I grew up really, like meeting all sorts of people. Many of them are leaders. So I was able to to have I was able to gain to get great insights from those leaders growing up. So I was able to develop the meta skill. Okay, meta skill. I would say this is the number one skill that anyone across industries should develop. Because in my journey, meta skill helped me a lot. Since I was a child, I had that experience. I was exposed to a political environment. I saw leaders. I could smell power. I saw power at various levels. I tasted it. Starting when I was in high school, I was the president of the student council in high school. And then at the college, I was also the same thing. I was very active in campus politics. So it started way back. And through the journey, I was able first to develop meta skill when it comes to leadership. So I can smell who is I can smell leadership. I can taste leadership. I saw leadership, and the meta skill allowed me to impart that self-awareness to my clients, to be self-aware. Very important, because 98% of leaders are not aware. Not, I mean, the level of the so in situations, especially problematic situations, wow, it drops. Even lower. So 98%, we're not aware. So we're only aware of 2%, right? So we see things around us through our eyes, through the windows of our eyes. So 98% we're not aware. So the meta skill allowed me to really become very adaptable and flexible, self-aware, because skill is about, to listen to this one, meta skill is about developing a permanent skill. The mother of all skill is meta skill. All right. Do you agree with me, Abdullah?
Yeah, I totally agree. But actually,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I believe that is something that you develop over time, and it's very important to develop your meta skills.
Exactly.
If I
Very,
may ask,
very
so
important.
many people they lack that at the early stage of their career. It's very common that
Yeah, yeah,
people.
yeah.
So
But
how do you think
but
they can
actually,
develop it?
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, it can be easily developed by going back to the place of this. You need to be aware. You need to be curious of what's happening. So that brings me to the second skill. Okay, by the way, I would like to recap this a little bit. Meta skill is the mother of all skills, is a permanent skills, as opposed to merely a skill. A skill is a temporary skill. It could be developed. It could be skills could be mastered. But first, meta skill has to be developed. Now, it brings me to the second skill that I developed over time, which was the emotional intelligence. A great deal of emotional intelligence is very important, and it's a good skill. It's a good skill to have because it's about interaction, it's about communication, it's about dealing with people, and we need to know where they're coming from, right? So that allowed me to become an effective coach. That because of my unique experience and background, plus the techniques for emotional applying. I mean, the skill of emotional intelligence. Wow, what it 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 allowed me to create that really authentic, powerful coaching conversation with clients. So meta skill and emotional intelligence. The third one is a listening skill. We need to be good. We need to be good listeners, Abdullah. Come on, we need to be good listeners. We need to be good listeners, right? Because so many mistakes are made because an executive does not listen,
Yes.
right? So many executives and they are hardwired to resist information that that does not confirm their what they know. So there is that innate reaction to one information or data that are not aligned with their expectations. So we need to be good listeners. So I developed that and it supported me in my coaching career. Listening, to be good listener. It's actually not easy, Abdullah, to listen. You have to shut your mouth, right? You have to be quiet. And for us, it's like, oh, I don't want to be in this place like just quiet in this side. So I wanted to always talk. That's what I want. But listening, I really struggled with the skill, Abdullah.
Uh,
I hope you're not struggling also.
no, no, no. Actually, I just want to, like you mentioned listening, but I think many people
Yeah,
get confused that they just listen to the word. They are not
yeah,
actively
exactly,
listening. So they are
exactly.
not listening to where the person is coming from, and which is, I notice
Yeah,
is a big problem in many people. They
yeah,
they say we are listening, but it's not actively listening to what the person say. So
exactly. So they're actually listening,
Mhm.
but they are not processing, right? Because listening is essentially a mental process. Okay, listening is a mental process. Okay, now hearing is different. Like I can hear you, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I can hear you, but listening happens here, all right? But the problem is, it gets cut short most of the time, and unfortunately, so many avoidable problems should have been avoided had the executive listened just few more seconds longer or a few minutes longer. So listening skill, Abdullah, I had to develop that. Very important for a coach. Imagine a coach who does not know how to listen, who, who does not want to listen. Oh, that is a terrible coach. Don't hire a coach. Okay. And then that brings me to another skill that I had to develop, which is asking asking questions. They are connected, right? Now, asking questions are important for a coach to clarify issues because oftentimes our thinking is cluttered, so much information. Now, now we heard of the death by PowerPoint, and I would say that there's also death by too much information, right? Le? Too much information, Le? Especially for Vietnamese professionals, I would advise my dear brother and sisters, all the professionals in Vietnam, to really develop the skill of asking questions. Now, why is that? Why is asking question that is good for not only for a coach? Because asking question makes things easier. It's a simplifier, not a complicator. Right, Abdullah? It simplifies. And an executive coach needs to simplify things for the clients. Again, if a coach, I have to be honest right here, if a coach complicates things, don't hire that coach. Stay away from that coach who complicates. Stay away from that coach. Stay away. So exactly what I wanted to say, young people in Vietnam, beware of the death of too much information. I encourage you not to learn too much, but focus on this quality information based on questions.